Hey guys, so welcome to day 20. So day 20 did not start out how I want because I had to get my car serviced. So I did attempt to like do a little talking in the video, but it was too loud in there. So I spent 3.5 hours. Yeah. However, it was kind of sweet when I sat beside this older gentleman and he just started talking. He was retired age. He's based on how the age you give me, he has to be in his 70s based on when he retired, the year he retired, and how old he was. So I was so I'm assuming he's about a year older than my mother. So it was a really good conversation. Like it started with him having a book. He had a book. It was a spy book. I cannot remember the name of the book. And he went into detail about the fact that even though it was a novel, there were some actual true things in there. But of course, he had to disguise names and actual who was involved kind of deal. So we were just talking about books, and it just escalated to cars, and it escalated to, you know, things that he's done, his experience with his cars, experience with his kids. I love having those kind of conversation with older, you know, retired people and different culture, because he was a white guy, and the fact that, you know, it was just a beautiful moment just talking. And I think people probably thought we knew each other, but we didn't. And we went on and talked. It was over an hour and a half I was talking to him because he sat beside me because there was other chairs there, and he just felt comfortable, sat beside me. And it was around because I was at the dealership from 7 in the morning, and I didn't leave until after like 10:30. So I was there for 3.5 hours. Yeah, that's 3.5 hours. Yeah, 3.5 hours. So he was beside me at least an hour and a half, and it was just, we spoke the entire hour and a half. I left before him, but it was just so sweet. And I think, you know, I just love those conversations, especially when it starts by a book. I literally saw his book in his hand. I'm like, oh, what are you reading? Books will forever connect me with other people. So today, after that, I did some errands for my mother, and you know, getting ready for the holiday. I had to pick up a toy for my godson, and I had to drop off the library book. Now I dropped off Control and Wish You Were Here, and I didn't intend on picking up any book because in my mind I'm going to be with my family. I'm probably not going to read a lot. I should just focus on my Kindle. And I do have 2 books that are, 1 book left on my TBR. So I'm really proud of myself. My TBR is literally 1 book, and I did read 2 extra books that wasn't on my TBR. So I'm doing really good, and I'm updating my Goodreads, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So I got this Roadrunner, and Trisha R. Thomas. She's the author of Nappy Ever After. There is a movie. I never watched it because I don't have Netflix. I'm one of those people. I barely watch TV, guys. So it's like, why am I getting Netflix? However, the DVD player, I got a new one. I think I paid $20-something for it, and it's wonderful. So I put in Thundercats, and I've been watching the first DVD, and I think it's about, I want to say 6 or 7 episodes on 1 CD, and there's 12 CD. Yeah. Another thing I'm noticing, because I'm much older and more mature, I understand the storyline so much better, and there's things that I absolutely never understood. I was too young to even comprehend any of that, and I realized how creative it was and how many other things that ripped off this cartoon, where I'm like, oh, they got the idea from this, and a lot of people probably didn't peep it, but I sure peeped it because I started from the first episode, which I never understood that's what really happened on the first episode. I'm just thinking they fighting these bad guys all the time, not realizing the actual beginning of the actual cartoon, like the beginning, the storyline, how it started, how they build their own community, how they end up on this third world, all of that. I was a kid, I didn't understand any of that, but now it's more interesting watching it as an adult, and I find it very interesting, very interesting. Anyway, sorry about that. There's some dust going on around here. So I picked this up Okay, so let's get back to this. I got distracted. But this is not going to be due until the 9th. So if I don't read it on the holiday, it'll be part of my new one. So this is talking about, there is a football player. Was he a football player? No, baseball player. So he's a baseball player married to this woman that he's been with. They were very young. They have 2 kids. They're living a life. He got injured. So now he's going through depression and they have him on medication. She gave him an ultimatum like, hey, you better get it together or she's leaving. And somehow he got, what I'm getting here is he got violence. He said a violent act that changed the course of their lives forever. And it's also involved, also a third party got involved in the situation. And there's a question of, is he alive, or there was a car accident, but how it happened. And then it says, no one know if he's dead or alive. So when I read that part, I said, oh yeah, this is giving me messy. This is giving me mystery, suspense going on in here. And I love the cover art. You know, you got the police guy, that's the third person here, and the husband and wife. So I thought, you know what, this might be one of those like mystery thing going on, because it's not romance at all. And I don't know why I thought it was going to be contemporary. Clearly it's not. So I was here for it. I'm currently almost finished. The goal is, here's the goal. I want to finish this by tomorrow. And I feel like I need to do a movie to book adaptation of this. Because Cousin Rachel is so good and messy. But it's also annoying at times because the male character in this, he's giving me young and dumb. He's giving me stubborn. He's giving me ignorant. He's giving me stupid. It's just, and I can't stand characters like that. So I am struggling with this main character in there, but nevertheless I feel like there's gonna be a twist in there. I just feel it's gonna happen, and I want to see this in movie because I saw the poster of the actress. I don't know her name again. Let's hope, fingers crossed, I can actually do a movie adaptation of this. But if I can, I'll do both. I'll review this and give you that. But so far I'm loving the shenanigans. I'm loving Rachel. Oh yeah, Cousin Rachel. Yeah. And I hope I'm not wrong for where I think this is going. I hope I'm not wrong. But anyway, that's it. So I have been updating my Goodreads, and I'm trying to update my reading journal. I'm behind. Literally how behind I am missing, I did not finish any of the reviews in here for November. I started 2, I didn't quite finish, and I have notes on like quotation and things that I enjoy for the books that I've written down, but I didn't do my full thought, so I have to do that. And then for October I have 2 that I didn't do a complete, and I read 11 books, and the 2 of them I didn't. So I'm not doing terrible, but I just somehow got behind on this, and I like to have my written reviews in my notebooks because, like I said, you could go back to a year from now. I want to still have those memories, those little things that you don't quite remember because it depends on how long ago you read the book. So I want to do that. Also, I have not been on Goodreads that much this year. I can count on one hand, and I think I've updated my Goodreads 3 times this year. I did one in the summer, I did one last month, and I'm doing it now. So I haven't been using Goodreads as much, but I still like using it for the fact I like the tracking, I like the word count, I like sometimes seeing what other people reviews are. Just, you know, if a book, especially if it's a book I don't really care for and people love it, I kind of like seeing why they love it. So I have been putting it in, and so far I'm up to 104 book. So as of right now, this is the most books I ever read in a year. The most I've read prior to this was 2 years ago, and it was 103. And right now, I still haven't added Wish You Were Here. Of course, this is gonna get added. Ruckus is not added. So that's 7. And plus, I probably going to read at least 2 more books before the month end. So I'm doing really good. I mean, but I know I'm gonna see if they're gonna show it, because you know how they usually show your page count kind of deal. So let's see what they. Yeah, like I think my page. Can they show the previous year? Sometimes they will show the previous year. So page count. I did read one book that was 775 pages, and Maestro had me. I've never read anything from this author, but Maestro had me. And of course, the shortest was The Christmas Story that I just read, which was 53 pages. Of course, the most read one was Huckleberry Finn. Not surprised there. And the least is Chemistry, which, you know, hey. So the average is saying for my ratings was a 3.8, which I agree, because I think a lot of books were 4 stars. I did not read that many 5 stars at all this year. It's just a handful of books that I gave 5 star. I noticed that I did not read, and I do mean not one. Not one. Not one YA. I really want to get one in before the end of the year. I just never not read not one. It's looking like not one YA was read this year. Not one at all. Of course, romance was the top. I'm not sure how many historical fiction. Not that many. And historical fiction is one of my favorite genre. But the classic is moderate. And I will break down more of this, I think, when I do another video, because I have to look at more of the statistic of what I actually read, what I was gravitating to, because I find that I did not read a lot of new releases. Most of the new releases I'm reading now, like I'm reading from last month, November, and this month. But majority of the books that I read was like backlist. A lot of them were old romance, were not old, but like at least 2 years ago. So overall, I would say this was an interesting reading year for me. It was an interesting reading year, and I'm still trying to grasp why did I read the way I did this year. I think I feel like because of how the year started, I was grieving my father, and I think there's some books I just didn't care for, I didn't want to touch, and I gravitate more to romance. And then also, even with the romance, I wanted the unusual, out of the pocket kind of character, and that happened as well. So I think I didn't care for a lot of other books. Also, I didn't follow a lot of new new authors or new books that was being pushed. And then when I did read some of the books that were popular, I find that I wasn't getting anything from it. I didn't feel the connection I wanted. So I think for me, classic is still going to be that kind of storyline that I will read, and then also romance. And you guys, especially from the subscriber jar, I will talk more about that, the subscriber jar, where a lot of the books that were like recommended There was quite a few classics in there that I just pulled, didn't even know. But for the most part, it's been an interesting reading year. Let me know if you guys have had, like, for the fact that I've read the most book ever this year, and it's not, it's one of the most interesting reading year for me, but it's not a lot of 5-star books in there. It's a lot of 4 and 3 stars, but not a lot of 5-star books in the mix. And I think I don't know if it's me or if I was just picking, or I don't know. I'm still looking at my list, and I'm just like absolutely like looking at like what was I really reading. Like it's quite interesting. It is quite interesting, and it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. 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 So yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm doing today. Today is just not that eventful, but I want to catch up. I already planned out. Yeah, I started using the plan already, guys. Let's see what I have. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am completely planned out now. So starting the next, yeah. So everything is planned out for the rest of the month, like everything. Before there's not another planning that was going on. I was winging some of these things, a new topic I want to talk about, but as of right now, literally I am planned for the rest of the month, which I love doing that, especially when I'm not going to be home at some point. But yeah, so we are going to, yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, day 20, and we have 11 more to go, right? So I will see you guys tomorrow. Let me know how you feel about this year's reading for you, personal. Did you have a fantastic reading year, or do you feel like you were just okay? Or you struggle to even read? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you read and how you felt about the things you read this year. All right, see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, bye.